10% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his auto care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Monday, everybody. It's spring football time. I got some news for you to share so you understand how we're getting down today. Write this number down or get a pen or get your phone out, right? And type in this number or write down this number. You'll need it for the next day or two until we get some kinks and bugs worked out. 402-999 4620. That's 402-999-4620. If you're going to text in today, use that number. Put your name in the text so we know who it is, and we can read it and give you the shout out, the appropriate shout out that's required. You can also text in and put your comments in on the live video stream. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We'll see them. You can read them again. Hopefully you've logged in and we can see who you are and you can tell us and we can shout those out. Video stream's up, so you guys can cover that. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and call in the Honda Lincoln Hotline, 402-464-5685. You can. So, Jay Foreman, Rico, how's your weekend, man? What's happening?
Pretty good weekend. Did a lot of stuff. It was beautiful weather. Found two of Ellie's daycare friends live like 4 houses down from us. So we know where we're going to be sending Ellie during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Went to a gymnastics meet with Ellie. Saw very little of it. We spent most of the time in the bathroom because we're still working on potty training.
Mm-hmm.
But what we did see was very fun. She kept wanting to take her turn on the balance beam. Every time somebody would finish, she goes, "Okay, my turn." Like, that's not how this works, baby girl. But then we got a picture with her new best friend, Michaela Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Michaela Curtis. Thank you for being wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And just spent a lot of time outside on this beautiful, beautiful weather weekend.
Did she enjoy gymnastics?
I like to think she did. So
yeah.
During the beam, like I said, she kept wanting to take her turn. She loved people flying through the air on the vault. She got to one of the little awnings or whatever, not the awnings, just like right up the stairs, that little cement pad, and she was dancing during other people's floor routines. So the people in the stands were watching 2 floor routines. And she thought the uneven bars were really cool. She didn't understand what was happening. She kept thinking they were falling, but she loved it for the little bit that we saw. Like I said, we spent most of the time in the bathroom.
Yeah, it's good for the soul, bro. It's good for the soul. Jay, what'd you do all weekend, man? How'd the hoops go?
Oh, man, it was the last weekend. I think I coached like 20 games. And the last game was at like 7. So it was good. It was a good weekend. Finished on a high note. They played some tough teams, played well. Played a couple teams, they played 5 games in like 2 days, so that's a lot of basketball regardless of the age. And they showed, got heart of a champion and end up ending their last year of club ball on the right way. So it was good. I mean, it was long days, starting on Friday night. And then, you're coaching all day Saturday and all day Sunday. So I didn't get to enjoy. I mean, I got to enjoy because they played well and they were able to, reach their goals that they wanted. But only outside I saw was going from the car into the gym. So, but it was good. It was good that, it's, good parents and great kids. And it'll be, interesting to see where they go from here. The one thing I do realize there's a not too far off correlation between 14-year-olds and kids that play in college.
Mm-hmm.
just from the mindset. And it's 4 years isn't a lot. You know what I mean? It's not like these kids don't really get a lot of like hard life lessons and really learn from it. So they're actually on the same level. It's always funny as you hear kids talk or you see kids where, you know, a lot of them look in the mirror, and when they think of, like in this case, their basketball game, they're seeing themselves as LeBron James, but they're Benoit Benjamin.
Leave that man alone.
I only said Benoit Benjamin because whenever I used to get like NBA cards and you get a piece of gum, he must have been so bad. He was in every single pack.
Greg Ostertag.
Yeah.
Greg
Was in
Ostertag.
everyone too.
Yeah. Those are ones that you just go, wow. Calbert Cheney.
Yeah. In every single one.
Calbert Cheney was in every gift card. We had a package. So even in Utah, we would, as part of the radio, we had a donor that would just drop off cards, like cases of cards, unopened, and then we would just give them out. And then whoever won them would have to call back in and tell us what was in their package. And it was always like you could just go through it. Like you just go through it. They had guys who, so Rich King was in a bunch.
Yeah.
Rich King was in a bunch. Usually it was not the guys that kids want to emulate.
Oh yeah.
It's the guy who barely made the team, but he constantly barely makes the team. He's always the 10th man. He's
like
never,
every season, you're just like, how are you still here?
Yeah, like he's never number 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But he's always 10. Like him and the dude that they drafted always stare at each other. It's like, oh, so you the next one, huh? And they're like, no, not yet. Not yet. So
no, never.
It's a job for Jay Foreman to say, hey, listen, your lane is that of Jose Barrera. Like you need to focus
on you need to focus on what you need to focus on.
You're so mean.
Yeah. Hey, I got a kid. He sat down and talked to me, and I was asking where he's going to go to high school, right? And he's like,
"Oh, wait a minute."
He said he's going to one high school. I was like, "Why are you going there?" He's like, "It's like you're having trouble getting to, I check in with his counselors. They're like, you're having trouble attending school. It's your middle school 6 blocks away. You're going almost to the other school." He was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, my home school, he's like, they got a lot of young dudes, and so I wouldn't be able to make reserves or JV as a freshman. Bruh, you need to worry about 9th grade basketball.
Right?
First.
Like go and be Andre Kirilenko of the 9th grade.
And I said, you do realize that when you're in high school, regardless of what team you're on, like you miss class or you get a bad grade, you ain't playing.
Nope.
So when you got your lip poked out because you didn't come to practice and you ain't play for a game and a half, like you might be off the team, player.
Speaking of high school, just real quick, there was some breaking news today that Omaha Burke's head football coach is moving to Omaha Westside to be their head football coach after their coach retired.
You're speaking Greek. I have no idea who you're talking about.
Really good school.
Uh-huh.
Omaha Westside.
Omaha Westside loses their coach. Really good football school. Omaha Burke. They're just they got their coach now, and people are confused as to why Paul Lamangi, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, 16 years at Burke, I think, is now going to Westside.
Why would he do that? Make this interesting to me.
I don't know.
Let me get that check.
A better check over there? Is that
Westside's got $1 million like football facility.
Okay.
So
they've got the better resources.
Resources, you got the better booster club, so you can kind of make the money off of that.
So he got the bag, is what you're saying.
Probably.
He got the bag.
And that's the IT school where a lot of kids, and plus they're not in OPS.
They're
right?
in their own.
They're in their own thing, so you can do a lot more.
Which is why they were able to play.
So they were able
OPS
to play.
wasn't
Yeah.
playing.
So then you can go get kids to go there.
Okay.
They did get a lot of kids.
They did
that
get
year.
They get a lot of. They got a lot of kids last year.
And a lot of them kids.
And it was, and I'm gonna
They've got
tell
a
you,
couple
and
of
I'm gonna
them
tell you,
kids.
I'm gonna tell you, the metro schools were not happy,
No.
Okay.
supposedly. And
No, it's not supposed. They were not happy.
Okay, so the couple of things. One, I need to remind folks 402-999-4620 if you want to text in. Or call, and you can call into the regular number 464-5685. I do want to say this. A couple of times a day, I am going to go quiet
Uh-huh.
because apparently I set the Guinness Book of World Records for the number of times I bit my lip in the same place.
oh yeah,
Like the
No, that is
inside,
the worst.
like,
right.
like I'm just telling Jay, it looks like a butcher shop. in
Yeah.
there. Like, you know how they just shred
Yeah.
meat and it's just
Did-
hanging there.
Yeah,
It's just hanging there.
yeah,
So there are gonna be several times a day where I'm just gonna look at you two and have you guys take it
yeah.
because my mouth is just hurting and it wasn't pretty at all.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Oh, bro, I'm trying
It'll
to
make your
understand.
eyes water if you ain't ready for it. Like, dang, why'd I just do that?
Like, and again, like, what is the science behind being able to hit the exact same spot and just making it raw?
Right.
So there's that. I'm trying to figure out.
It's unnecessary, but for some reason, God is just like, you know, what'd be really funny is if you just kept biting the same spot.
Well, now it's swollen.
Yep.
And raw.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, I've got.
Done got you.
Yeah, it got me, and I'm just trying to hold on and get things done. So, a couple of things to talk about today. Again, spring ball, and at some point today, you guys should probably go back. Although we'll keep you busy all day until 11 o'clock, there'll be programming. But at some point, you need to go back and listen to Sunday Morning Pancakes with Brant and Nuri. They went after it yesterday. Pretty cool. I want to thank Moose's Mad Fresh for coming in and hooking them up. Taking care of them, the folks from Canopy Market for taking care of all of our student athletes. It is appreciated what y'all do. As a matter of fact, they also take care of you and Priscilla. We worked that out this week in advance, so you won't have to worry about that.
All right.
But
We might not need it this
well, no, you won't need it this
No.
week. That was part of the lead-in. Was I won't need it this week. What's the plan tomorrow night for you guys?
So tomorrow night, Priscilla and I are having a Mardi Gras show at Buzzard Billy's downtown. So it's gonna be fantastic. We're going at 7 o'clock.
Jay, did they invite you?
No, but it's
No.
all good though.
They didn't invite you.
You want to go?
Nope. Nope.
What we might do as well, since you guys are going to be there, I'm trying to see what the baseball guys have working. Their practice usually runs like 6:15 ish. I'm going to see if they can just come straight there, and we'll do both shows from there.
Okay.
Maybe even the Lincoln Stars. Maybe we'll include them.
It'll be
down
a
there.
blast. She's got 3 surprise guests that I will not say until
Well,
she says.
you're not allowed.
Nope.
So zip it, Rico.
There's one that I wanted, but I don't think we're getting.
Look at him getting
You just can't. You can't hold water, can you?
like he
Very
just
sad.
like just
Very sad.
just he's setting himself up.
No, I'm not going to say names. It's just,
Well, we know who they are. I mean,
No, you don't.
I know who you love.
you don't know who it is.
Well, you don't know who I'm inviting.
You don't know who I'm inviting.
It ain't your show; it's her show.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Just,
She finally said it. She
Yeah.
wouldn't have- she finally admitted it.
well, she had to call it out. Like
Without
Jay, he
admitting
was
it.
getting a little too big for the britches.
Oh, he was.
So
No, I kept telling her it was her show, and
So
she
is-
goes, "No, you need to do this. This is our show." And I go, "No, this is your name is on the show. Like my name isn't there."
Poor Rico. Poor Rico.
So she finally said it was her show.
So yeah, so there'll be events there tomorrow. I think we'll be there from 6 to 8 or 6 to 9, depends on how that goes. And Jay, you are officially invited because there's some stuff. I want you to meet the baseball dudes. Meeting Cam and Bryce.
Oh yeah.
Those dudes need some Jay Foreman in their life.
So Jay, you want to show up?
I can't tomorrow, man. We got a basketball party.
So,
Take the basketball part now.
yeah, no,
No.
Bad idea.
You know,
No.
we would try to invite that in. We'll break down at 9 o'clock. We'll break down men's basketball. We'll break down women's basketball. We'll break down a little of the spring game and get into what spring practice is like on these early days, because that's what folks want to hear. So I want to break here because I want to get a little bit deeper into Rico's weekend.
What do you mean? Do you have questions for me?
I do.
Now I'm scared.
Yeah, should be. We will throw the break. When we come back, Rico will tell us. Jay, he'll tell us what's up. and I'm curious. So stay tuned.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Turn off the TV and power down the video games. It's time for homework. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the NSCA. We want every child to learn and be successful. As a teacher, mom, and grandmother, I know children need a quiet place to do homework. Designate an area in your home away from the TV and background noise. Good study habits start with a quiet learning environment at home.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
High school sports on 93.7 The Ticket are brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and Lincoln is excited to welcome big events to our community. Find out what's happening in Lincoln by visiting lincoln.org. Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Shaping up to be a beautiful end to the month of February. We'll top out near 67. Cloud cover this morning will give way to plenty of sunshine this afternoon. And we will be looking at northwest winds around 10 to 15. Tonight, mainly clear, low of 32. Even warmer tomorrow for the start of March with a high of 74. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's a lot that goes into buying a home. Security First Bank can help lighten the load. Whether you're looking for more space or a new place, we make the process easier with friendly, experienced mortgage lenders. And whether you're building new or remodeling the old, we have flexible financing too. Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
They say one great thing leads to another, and that's especially true when you visit a Great Clips salon. When you sit down for a haircut with the skilled and friendly stylist at one of our thousands of convenient Great Clips locations, they'll not only make your hair look great, they'll make you feel great too. And that's something you can't help but share with the world. Download our online check-in app today and opt in to get a Ready Next text when you're up next. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Pleased and honored to be joined by Nebraska volleyball coach John Cook.
If Trev wasn't interested, I would have done it in a heartbeat because I just felt like Nebraska athletics, we were at the edge of the cliff. You know, we had to do something, get somebody in here to build this athletic department back up. I thank my lucky stars every day that Trev's our guy now.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, Old School on a Monday. 402-999-4620 is the text line. Write that down. Different number. Just to let you know. 402-999-4620.
When you were spotted, this must have been going through your head.
Uh-huh.
That's what it was.
You know it was.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I doubt it.
So you were spotted. I kept getting several texts. It's like, what's up with your boy? And Rico's over there. He's going to try to say that he's because he was dancing. He's a dancing dad, right? He just
I am.
Because
look, if Ellie dances, I dance.
She wasn't dancing.
She was dancing.
She was not dancing.
She was. Ask any of the people in my section. Ask Mark. Ellie was dancing. Actually, Mark probably wasn't watching. He was probably watching the floor routine, like everybody else probably was.
That was the point. They were like, "Wait a minute,"
but I wasn't.
Competition.
I was watching my daughter.
Rico out there
dancing.
I wasn't out there. I was down the stairs, so I wasn't in anybody's way.
Rico was.
But she was dancing, so I was up against the wall, and I was just kind of moving my shoulders.
Uh-huh.
I heard you, Rico. You were in the moment. It's all good.
It's fine.
You got caught up in the
It's
moment.
fine. I'm fine.
Look, it's all good, Rico.
It was fun.
No big deal. It happens to the best of us, you know. You just got.
And I was watching, and I was like, man.
You were just caught up in the moment, man. It's all good. No excuse. Don't worry about it.
And I'm watching the floor routines, and I was like,
you felt it, Rico.
I ain't doing
Just
none of
say
that.
you felt it.
I did.
Okay, then.
That's some good music. There were a couple where I was like, I don't know how you're dancing to this, but that was a really good one.
So, Rico, let me ask you: are you watching the NBA at all?
Mm-hmm.
Still watch?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the season?
This seems stupid. I mean, I was thinking about the NBA season. I mean, it's just not.
Right?
It's just not.
Something's off.
Yeah, it just feels stupid.
Something's off, right? Is like I was a little peeved last night, and I wanted to ask you guys about it. So Steph Curry was pulled at the end of the third quarter. Golden State's up 19.
Mm-hmm.
They lose the game.
Which, wow.
Why would you pull Steph Curry?
Do you think the game's over?
Because you're up by 19 and you don't want him to get hurt.
Load management.
So why not put him back in to win the game? Like
that is a great question.
He got tight. Golden State, I mean, it's the thing about NBA now. I think they play like, I call them throwaway games. Where it's almost, I wonder if they get in the locker room like, all right, we'll go out here and play. If we can kind of win it our way with not trying to win, we're cool. But we're okay. We're really okay if we lose.
Like no Clay, and then you and no Draymond, and then Steph decides he's not going to go, or somebody decides Steph's not going to play in the fourth quarter, and you allow the game to be thrown away at home, mind you.
Right. Yeah. Which
against
is worse.
a rival.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. Like for all the people who are NBA haters, you're validating.
Yeah.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine, I mean, I guess he played the first three quarters, but like I said, man, in all sports, I wonder what sport they're playing versus what I'm watching, because it seems like everybody's playing a different sport than I played, and they somehow work so much harder that they got to save themselves. I mean, Michael Jordan.
Can you imagine?
I mean, like, you know, LeBron James, unless he's like hurt, he plays.
Right.
Like Michael Jordan, all those guys played. You know, all the guys we talked about the one time, you know, who would be off, you know, who should have made the 75. I mean, all these guys played, and they played with less physical therapy, less like recovery techniques and stuff.
Better nutrition,
better food, right? Traveling and stuff. I mean, Detroit Pistons, when they had the bad boys, they were flying commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial. That
like
means
walking through the airport, dealing with people,
right? And the same, you know, just imagine you sitting in the row next to Rick Mahorn, eating
whatever Rick Mahorn's eating.
No, eating whatever they serve you on like a Delta flight.
Yeah.
Right, like you getting a little,
and then he's got to go play against the Celtics.
Yeah, then he's got to go to Boston and get Celtics. Ride on a bus with no police escort.
Yeah, he's got to figure out a way to slow down Michael Jordan.
Right.
I don't understand.
After eating what, boiled chicken on an airplane.
Well,
right.
So with the Knicks, I mean, the Knicks are load managing.
Knicks are tanking.
They are.
Is that? Well, that's exactly where I was. This is why I wanted extra time.
I think they might
put Rico in this.
I think they might be tanking. Load managing, no. If they were load managing, they'd be playing their young guys. They're not playing their young guys.
They're tanking.
They're playing all the old guys. 38 minutes a game.
They're tanking.
Tanking for what?
They don't know, but they're tanking. They got in a meeting.
I don't know
said,
who in this draft is worth tanking for.
It was like, let's try to tank this year. Let's do it. We finally made the playoffs. Got a home game.
They were 11 games over. They started the season 6-1, 7-1, and then fell off the face of the earth.
I mean, you just told Kemba Walker that
you could just sit.
You can just sit, and we're going to try to do what's best for your career.
He's not interested in a buyout. They're not interested in a buyout. They're just going to have him sit.
Fully healthy. All the while, they thought Derrick Rose was coming back. Derrick Rose is like, oh, no, you know what? I'm the most injury-prone superstar that's ever came in here in the last 20 years, even though I was supposed to come back, I'm going to let you know I'll be back in a couple more weeks.
Had to have foot surgery. Minor procedure.
Minor procedure.
I don't know what it is, but it's a minor procedure.
Like you're going to be out there with Kurt Schilling with a bleeding sock or something. That's not happening. I mean, dude.
He's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, are we just supposed to just not pay attention until the playoffs?
Well, they're hoping.
That's kind of what it seems like
That's
they're
what it
trying
seems,
to do.
yeah.
But the thing is, like the big market teams are doing that. The small market teams are like Memphis.
Well, they need the people.
Memphis is playing hard.
Yeah, they need the people.
Yeah. You ain't
Charlotte is playing hard.
You ain't tanking in Memphis and thinking cats in Memphis is going to show up and be paying,
Yeah.
for a family of four, $300.
Even like the worst teams in the league are trying. Like Detroit and Houston are still playing hard. Kelly Olynyk Kelly Olynyk hit a game-winning shot last night.
Like I don't know. Yeah, like what universe are we in now that Olynyk is on the floor and shooting a
Why is
big time-
Olynyk taking the last shot?
Right.
Like what have we done?
For
Like what are we
Detroit.
being punished for? What are we being
Yeah,
punished
the
for?
number one overall pick. You have Kate Cunningham. Why is he not taking the last shot?
When he walked out on the floor, you kind of went, "Whoa!"
He's a stretch five.
Like
He is.
So he
They were only down. I think they were down one. He hit a two.
he-
It wasn't a three.
like this is the pick and roll. Like
Yeah, he turned from the guy that would be like the borderline cheap player. Now he's a stretch five, and he's going to play another 6, 7, 8 years.
I try to understand, and then I was in the same boat. Like I want,
I see
and
Kelly Olynyk.
I do want to give kudos to the Big Ten Conference because for basketball,
They playing some basketball.
like
Mhm.
I'm actually glad I'm not following the ACC.
Oh,
Like I'm glad. Like any
ACC 's
other year,
weird.
I'd be fighting for the ACC, or I'd be fighting for the Pac-12. No.
ACC's weird this year.
you know what's crazy is every time I watch UCLA, they never play good.
You should watch them all the time.
No,
They're just saving up.
They must be because they don't.
They're
They're
just
not the
saving up.
same team that I saw last year. Now, granted, I think they got hot
Mhm.
during the tournament, which you need to do. But I'm gonna tell you one team that's impressive out there in the Pac-12 is USC.
Mhm.
Well coached, physical, tough, long. They're gonna give people a lot of problems, but
Is Mobley's younger brother on that team?
yeah, and he's doing his thing. It's Mobley's older brother.
Older?
Older.
Okay.
It's the little big brother.
Okay.
And so, but then back to the Big Ten. The Illinois game was a game against Michigan. It was a physical game. When you watch Colburn go against Dickinson, I mean, those two guys from the top of the key were banging, and they both went at it. It was a great.
And the officials let them
get after it. It was a high scoring game, and it was pretty big for Illinois to bounce back after the game before when their coach got ejected.
Mhm.
Which they were saying that you saw people on social media saying he went too far. It's way too much emotion. You got all these people saying that and he might have because
At
he
least
kind
he didn't hit
of grandstanded.
He didn't
and
punch
kinda-
anybody.
Yeah, he didn't hit
Yeah,
anybody.
but he kind of grandstanded where he left and came back and kind of
Yeah.
did the thing, hold me back and pointed at you, and he left again and
he
came
needed
back.
his curtain call.
Yeah, he had two of them.
He's like,
He had two of them.
he's like, throw me out. Throw me out.
Yeah.
What word do I have to say?
But
for you to
it, but
throw
it
me out?
worked though. It worked. The team came back and they almost won. But it's a big victory for them, and it was great basketball. Then you saw Maryland, right?
Mhm.
Who took Nebraska to the woodshed, goes and beats Ohio State.
20th
So-
anniversary.
So something that they're doing or found out at Maryland, previous to the Nebraska game, it seemed to work. I think
It'll be Danny and the Miracles again.
they're banging inside.
Mhm.
Williams is getting down, and then they're starting to get healthy. Their best player had missed DP 2 or 3 weeks before the
Yeah.
Nebraska game.
Yeah.
Only played a few.
And of course, he got healthy.
Well,
Here-
yeah, but
here at
he
PVA.
Yeah, he came off and gave you 8 quick, but then he's even more healthier, and he's their best scorer
Mhm.
with Fats. Hey man, they're gonna give people some problems. So it's and then you got Nebraska who goes out to Penn State.
The best defense in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and goes out to Penn State. Penn State was 7-10 in the Big Ten. 7-10. I mean, you got to think Nebraska. What do you think they would be doing? With that record, 7-10 before that game. I mean, people would be ecstatic, right?
How packed would PBA be?
Right.
Nebraska
So
has
you
7
go on the
conference wins?
road to Sleepy State College, Pennsylvania, against a team that's a defensive team, physical team, which is essentially been Nebraska's kryptonite all year, right?
Mhm.
And I think Penn State is extremely physical. and then, lays it on them. And it was consistent, right? 49-31 in the first half. And then, when you kind of could let off the gas, 44-39 down, in the second half. So you win both halves, but then also you got to think of those 39 points, you could probably take 7 of those away because it's like Nebraska was just trying to, get to the finish line. And, you're kind of getting guys off the bench. So look, it's a tough league, top to bottom. And you got to bring it every night, and it's competitive. Now it'd be interesting, kind of like last year, where they had a good season last year. Seemed like, teams wore each other out when they got in the tournament and didn't perform as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like sometimes, the Big Ten or SEC, when you go through that regular season, you get the bowl game, you're kind of like running on fumes. So it'd be interesting to see, one, what team continue to finish strong these last 2 games, maybe 3, and then you get into Big Ten tournament, who kind of really separates themselves and who looks fresh. You could, what's funny is you could lose, say, like in the last 4 in the Big Ten tournament, and be actually in a better position than the Big Ten champion.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
To rest up.
Well, if you play a game, say like, a player hits the last second shot, or they get a call, or they make a good and one, and you lose, say, like by 3, you're mad because you want to win a Big Ten championship, but then you get, kind of project where you're going, kind of know where you're going, as far as like the region of the country, do some scouting kind of based on the potential for, and be a week and a half, or like not a week and a half, about 4 or 5 days ahead of if you would play, in the Big Ten championship, and fresher, which is just as important.
It's going to be, if you have your place, you're good. You'll be able to make those decisions. But
Right.
I think the continuity of play is important to Big Ten style play. So teams can't coast. You can't go, okay, I can lose this one and then be on my way.
You
can't do that.
You can't do like the Lakers and the Golden State did.
Yeah. So, all right, well, toward the break, we'll come back top of the hour. I do want to talk about spring camp. Jay Foreman, you'll tell us what this day is like.
Yeah.
We'll get into that when we get back here on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com.
Hi, welcome to Big Chain Bar and Grill. Can I get you a drink? Which game were you hoping to see? Doesn't matter. I don't know what channel the game's on anyway. Are you ready to order? Okay, here's a check. Come back and see us again, okay?
What?
Hey, welcome back into Upside.
Slow down and enjoy the game at the Upside Bar and Lounge. Comfortable seating, plenty of screens, a great food and drink menu, and no one trying to shove you out the door. Come in, hang out, and take it all in at the Upside Bar and Lounge, open daily just east of 27th and Pine Lake.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
They say one great thing leads to another, and that's especially true when you visit a Great Clips salon. When you sit down for a haircut with the skilled and friendly stylist at one of our thousands of convenient Great Clips locations, they'll not only make your hair look great, they'll make you feel great too. And that's something you can't help but share with the world. Download our online check-in app today and opt in to get a Ready Next text when you're up next. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
March is Problem Gambling Awareness Month. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300 or go to choicestreatmentcenter.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Shaping up to be a beautiful end to the month of February. We'll top out near 67. Cloud cover this morning will give way to plenty of sunshine this afternoon. And we will be looking at northwest winds around 10 to 15. Tonight, mainly clear, low of 32. Even warmer tomorrow for the start of March with a high of 74. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hour number 2 of Old School. It is spring football time. If you want to join in the conversation today, 402, write this down, 402-999-4620. 999-4620 to text in today. You can, in fact, put comments on the stream. So YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, StreamYard, you can jump in there and put in your comments. We will react and respond. Jay, you mentioned at 8 o'clock, he goes, okay, now is the time to pinch yourself. Now the time to enjoy being alive, because there's football going on at Memorial Stadium and the Huskers are at work. What is day one of spring camp like?
I mean, it's the first day of being on the field of the new year. So I mean, that's obviously that's huge. Of course they've been working out and maybe doing, kind of doing some skelly or whatever they, are allowed to do. But now you're out there and, you're competing for a job, or solidifying yourself or working on things to become a better, player and teammate. And, look, last year's last year and everybody's 0-0. So anything and everything that you want to achieve is out there. But the hard part is obviously you got to go out there and every day and earn it. And there's a lot of excitement because you get to go out there and, play football again. You're just trying to really just, walk and chew gum, you definitely don't want to have the ball on the ground a lot. You don't want to have a lot of delays of, not lining up correctly. I think you should, probably should keep it real basic, as far as, let's try to, I view the first like 3 or 4 practices as identity days, right? Regardless if you have plays or have pads on. Kind of like your base plays, offense and defense, special teams is going to be huge. Set the tone of the tempo, attention to detail. You want to learn the ins and outs of every play, because during the season you won't have this much time to go over this short of a playbook or this small of a playbook. So you want to make sure you know it. You want to take a lot of notes. But again, this is a very, very competitive spring. I don't see anybody that's fully cemented that doesn't have to, I mean, there's not like Aiden Hutchinson on our team.
Right.
There's not like Olave or, some of those type of players where they went in the spring last year and they know they're that dude, right? Or, get what I'm saying?
So here's a question. What positions are guaranteed to start on opening day? Like there's
Probably inside linebacker for sure. Outside as well. Maybe your front seven, you could say Ty and assuming Casey, you know.
Okay.
So that's your front seven. I think there's in the back four, I'd probably say Newsome is probably, you know, going to be a starter. He started all last year. And then everywhere else, you lost 3 veteran players that logged a lot of plays. And it's not just in the game. Those are practice reps, right? And Deontay Williams was, you know, a leader back there, and same with Dismuke. And then, you know, Cam Taylor-Britt, you know, was a decent player. So, you know, back there. But, look, backup spots are up for grabs. Getting reps during the game is up for grabs. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's still very, very competitive. Nobody that's, you know, the assuming starter of just take the linebackers, you know, just say the 2 outside guys, the 2 inside guys. None of those guys can go in the spring and think like they don't have 2 or 3 things they need to work on. They all had good years, right? And it was definitely a bright spot, especially the inside guys. I think had to be both in the top 10 in tackling in the Big Ten. Had a good year from Garrett, and then you had a more consistent year from Caleb Tanner. But every single one of them have things that they need to work on in their game, that's what you do in the spring. But that's what you do you should want to every year. You should want to be better every year. So just because your approach to spring might be different than, say, a redshirt freshman or a sophomore, or like a guy that's transferred in from the portal or just transferred in or whatever you call it, that doesn't mean that your mindset isn't the same, because you should be trying to get better every single practice. But when you're trying to earn your spot versus solidify yourself and earn bigger and better things, I think the approach just has to be the same.
If I give you the top 3 quarterbacks of Logan, Casey, and Chubba, what are you looking at closest for all 3 of those? Like at each one, like what is the aspect that you're looking at the most for each one of those guys?
Number one is execution. I'm big on leadership. Truly leadership, guys that are grinders. Being spent after practice, football is their deal. You know what I mean? They love it. A quarterback has got to love work.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at that, see who has command of the offense. That's big, because at some point in time, you're going to have to challenge guys and motivate guys to do more things that they've been doing at some point in time. And then just playing the position, right? Getting in and out of the huddle, getting in and out of plays, executing plays right now is just huge. So I'm looking at it from like that from all 3. And they all 3 have they're at different parts of their career, right? You have Casey that's been, starting and playing for a while. He's looking at this opportunity to cement himself in the big landscape of the Big Ten, and it's a big challenge. I think going from Big 12 to the Big Ten is different. It's better defense, it's better coach, bigger guys that, and in my opinion, bigger, faster, and stronger that he's played before. But I think he'll do well. So he's looking at like, okay, this is a chance to really, I'm a dude. Then you got Purdy, who's kind of, he's kind of almost like Logan, where very minimal playing time. He's coming. He got a little nicked up, right? Mm-hmm. And same with Logan, I guess, if you take the last game, but where they have a lot of potential and they have actually a lot of opportunity, but they're not known entities, right? You got one that's a known entity, and then 2, and then you got the young guy, from Harburg, where everybody's kind of thinking of where he's a guy. I call he's one of these computer guys, right? Type in what you want your quarterback to look big, strong, good arm, got a little moxie, but inexperienced. That's him. Don't just think like he's just gonna just sit back there and just be back and just drinking Gatorade and chilling, right? This is a great opportunity for him, right?
Yep.
He can run a little bit. He's got a offensive coordinator in Whipple that if I'm him, I'm looking at Pickett. That's the type of body type I have. That's me, right? Now, granted, Pickett had started the year before, but when I'm watching tape, I actually can see a like type person executing this offense, or the version that maybe they're, being shown and marrying it with their one in the past. So the competition is still there versus, cementing yourself and creating that gap as the starter, or doing the same thing as creating a gap from being the 2nd to 3rd and possibly the 4th on the depth chart. And the thing about football, as we all know, is you're one play away from going from being on the bench to playing 60, 70 plays a game, and the standard, can't change. You can't say, well, you know what? I don't know all the plays because I hadn't played the first 2 weeks. Your job is to know the plays just as much as if DP's the starter and me and you are backups. We got to know it. And actually we should, because the fact that if DP's the starter, we're all in this together as linebackers. So we should all be communicating and studying together. If it's only DP in there watching tape, well, then that lets you know why he's the starter. You get what I'm saying? So it's an individual task, but it's got to be a team effort. And, spring is tough, man. I mean, it's, you're practicing. Ideally, you need to approach every game or every practice like a game, but you're not getting a game. So you have to be individually motivated to do well.
When folks talk about, even in the spillovers, defense is pretty locked in. And I'm like, wait a minute. You've got a new line coach, and you've got positions open in the defensive backfield.
Right. Well, I mean, it's the continuity's there because the coaching staff hasn't changed. And Tuioti, you went to Oregon, and Coach Dawson is more than capable of coaching the D-line and outside linebacker. So it's not a big turnover, and there's a ton of competition there. Who's going to step up from the younger guys behind, you say Ty and all those guys, and then Ty needs to step up as well. Take a next step or two in his play individually and being a dominant force that he's capable of being. So, so the defense is versus where the offense, I think Sipple was saying from the offense where you got on the surface, the offensive coordinator that ran on the surface, again, a different offense than what we ran before or ran last year.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to be by all practical purposes, be the play caller, right? You got a new receiver coach, new offensive line coach, a new running back coach, and a new special teams coach, which obviously brings in guys that aren't starting or starters, right?
We hadn't even gotten into who's starting on offense. Like
right.
we haven't even like
right.
that.
But that also plays a big part in it, though,
right?
Because if I want to be the guy either on the travel roster, or if I want to be the guy that actually, when we're in staff meetings and we're talking about two guys going, well, he's a starter on special teams too, so you're actually a starter. So I mean, that's a lot of turnover and it's a lot of competition. And
how is that missed? How is that not landed on this roster as it stands? That the easy way to contribute is on special teams. Like that's how you get that travel game jersey. That's how you get the additional exposure.
Because you're getting in the game before the guy that has a ton of potential sitting in the dorms.
Right. Wait.
While we're up at Michigan State and watching me run down on kickoffs, because just say it's me and DP. I'm a starter on 3 of the core special teams, right? And DP's like, oh, I'm only here to play defense, right? And Rico's the starter. Rico goes out there, somebody rolls up on him, and he's got to go out a couple plays or just a couple series. And that happens like all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, DP's at home. I got to do it, and I got to do special teams. We'll say I play pretty decent, right? So then we don't have to rush Rico back, or say you had kind of injure yourself. Well, now they're going to feel more comfortable with me as a starter or being a so-called stopgap. Because I produced. But it's all based on special teams. Like if I'm a coach and somebody comes into me and is talking about how can I play more in defense, but can't execute simple tasks of being, one, a good teammate, a good player, and also doing special teams, it's hard for you to ask me why you're not able to play 70 plays when you can't play 7.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's literally that, whether you're in the NFL, if you want to have security on the roster, you better be a starter on special teams if you're not starting on defense. And you also, if you're starting on defense, you want to contribute on special teams, because if it comes down to being a fringe starter and a guy that's just only like a positional player, well, if you're giving more value on defense and special teams versus a guy only defense, then that's where the separating goes. So it's no different in college. And, if you wanted to get noticed when we were playing, come down, and if you want to come down on special teams, start making plays. And I don't understand, I think it's this cool thing that one thing I noticed like in baseball where, nobody wants to play outfield when they're real young. Right, everybody wants to play second, short, third, and first, right? Because that's the cool thing to do.
You're in the game.
Well, yeah. Well, when they're young, you're going to get more action because people can't hit the ball in the air.
Right.
Right. So who wants to be out in the outfield? Well, actually, as you get older, outfielders are actually more important because you got to be one that's got to be able to chase the ball down, track it, and get it to the cutoff
And have
guy.
a big arm. Yep.
And a big arm. But then so if you hit the ball, say like in 10U in the outfield, it's generally a double, maybe a triple if you got a fast guy. But if you got a good center fielder, that's turning that thing in as you get older to just a single. And then so that's when you equate it to special teams. It's the kind of the same mentality. Oh, I don't think that's cool. That's not. Well, hey, there's a lot of guys that at the next level made a lot of money playing special teams. There's guys that get drafted now being excellent special teams players, and more draftable having special teams tied to themselves, which is, again, will separate you. But then before you can even get to thinking about the next level, you got to be dominant here. I think a lot of kids miss the most crucial part about playing football. You have to dominate, or you have to be a good player every single day.
Wherever you are.
High school, college. Like, I always wonder, how am I watching some of your huddle tape and you're walking?
Watching teammates run down the field.
Oh, in high school. I don't care if you're one of these guys like, I'm not going to play my senior year in high school in football. That's fine, because you don't want to get hurt. But what I'm watching, let me tell you, some of these dudes I've been watching, you lucky I ain't your coach. And it's not even a thing of like, I'm going to beat you down. I'm going to set the standard of, dude, you do that, you ain't playing. Because what you're doing is disrespecting the game. You get what I'm saying? So I think a lot of these young athletes miss it. They think
that's one of those Dom Capers things where he goes, son, you're not disrespecting the game. You're disrespecting yourself.
right, and the game.
Like, the fact that you're walking on this thing means that you think so little of yourself that you allow yourself to be represented that way.
Right.
Like,
Over and over and over again.
Like Sam Mills would run from location to location,
Right,
from spot to spot. And then he would get back to his spot. And he said, I will rest in the huddle.
Yeah.
But I never rest in between.
All right.
And it changed Kevin Green. It
Right.
changed Eric Davis. It changed a lot of dudes who already had resume
Right,
and
right.
reputation. He elevated it by doing a very small thing very well.
Yeah. And like those type of instances of kids, or and it's different, more to it, but you either need a coach that's going to nip that in the bud right away, or I'd ask you, if you think you're going to do that at a major division, one, you're going to probably get hurt. Okay. You're going to be running around kind of lollygagging, and somebody going to crack back on you. You're going to be asleep. So you're going to be all over social media getting your head knocked off. Number two, you can't make plays like that. Football and sports are not light switches sports. You can't turn it on when you want to, and we'll turn it off.
Well, that's the motor thing that people talk about.
Yeah, but it's also a mental thing, though.
Yeah,
because the mental is going to control the motor.
because you're turning it off.
Right. They're just like, oh, I'll do it here. You can't turn it on and off. And look, I'm not sitting here and saying like, if I never had what's called a loaf, right, or anything like that. Everybody is. Even Michael Jordan probably had loafs and everything like that, right? But when you're disrespectfully lazy in sports, that's a choice.
Whose job is it to fix that?
But
outside of yourself, because some people aren't aware.
Well, yeah, you got to make them aware,
right?
You got to hold them accountable. But if you want to continue to do that, then you know what, you'll just be sitting there doing a lot of watching.
Well, and then that leads.
And then
that takes us back to the fake
vortex,
hustle, to the
right? Fake hustle,
right? Because you think you're working hard, but when from outside view you go, no, bro, you're still tipping.
Or the fake hustle in basketball sometimes, to the virgin eye of the fan looks like hustle, but you're actually I call him Captain Chaos.
Mm.
And so.
Well, you make a mess and then chase the mess,
right? But you just made two messes,
right? Like because you've now set up your teammates
right.
to have to bail you out, or at least get out of system,
right?
To
so then I just think that, again, back to spring, it's I mean, it's one of the most important, if not the most important in Nebraska football, Well, I know it's the most important in Nebraska recent football history. So, which is great, but because you can do great things with the importance, right? With the pressure. Just because it's a very, very important in careers and legacies or whatever you want to call it, doesn't mean it always has to go, to the negative. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Sometimes your best work is under these circumstances and should be. You shouldn't want to be here, but since you're here, let's get into the details and let's make, chicken salad out of chicken, what. And it's not like it's not like this is the type of pressure where you don't have the talent or you don't have the opportunity, right? Or you don't have the support. You get what I'm saying?
Everybody here has talent.
Right. So now you have those three things, and there's other things you like, but you got a big thing is talent. Another thing is you got, I like the coaching staff, and you got the support. Because if you didn't have the support, you wouldn't be here. Okay. We've seen it this last week with Fred, and it was before with Scott. So, so then as you go and try to, do this and rectify it, you shouldn't have to be, looking over your shoulder per se. You get what I'm saying? And only way you need to look over your shoulder is if you're not doing the work. So I think they're doing the work. So you should be just moving forward. And then as you move forward, work, build the team, and then the rest should lead to obviously a better product come the season.
It's the chance to this week for guys who have been fair to middling, and then that's not a slight, but guys who are on the radar, but not at the front of the radar.
They're the yellow. I call them the yellow or yield guys, right? So you got your guys that are, what you're gonna get. Those are your green. Those are your green guys, right? The guys that going to be consistent, played well last year. Yeah, they're going to come and, compete and do better things and get better. Those are your green, right? The red are the guys that, kind of want to fake like they're doing it and just play Halloween and, just okay with being okay as long as they get 4 different outfits and free, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Faking it. The yellow is a combination of young guys, right? Combination of young guys that haven't had the opportunity or new to the program, and guys that you're kind of waiting for it. You know what I mean? DP, waiting for you to mature, waiting for you to take advantage of the third opportunity that you got to be the starter or actually reach your potential. And there's another one that I always say that they're orange, right? And so those are your like lower level yellow that is mixed in with a little red. Maybe you hang out with guys that are, in the red. So that's bringing you down to the orange. Or maybe you don't like competition or you don't have the strongest work ethic, right? You're teetered. Now you're like 2 steps below, because I'd want to be on the middle to high of that yellow. Because I say I'm a young guy, or say I redshirted last year, right? Or just say like I'm Colby Britz, right? Look, nobody's talking about him. Mm-hmm. He's one of the best athletes on the team, hands down. Athletically, one of the best athletes, one of the most fluid athletes out there that can play in a lot of ways all 3 levels: safety, kind of eat himself and train himself into a linebacker, stand up. He could be like this hybrid type of deal. Now, granted, he got a little dinged up, but just imagine if you're him. So he's a yellow guy, right? Dude, all he has to do is just live up to his potential and just stay healthy, right? So I'd want to be one of those guys. You get what I'm saying? With a viable excuse of me not playing versus, all right, man, here we are, another 3rd spring. When is the light going to go on? Is he going to be in class? Is he going to keep his grades up? Or is he going to eat all his meals? Is he going to actually do, Rico, whatever, all this that's on his card and then some? Is he only doing the minimal workouts? Is he only looking at the minimal amount of tape? You get what I'm saying? Is he only giving me minimal effort in the drills? In this spring here, you should never want practice to end. Because you always want
eyes. It's new eyes and one more chance for you to move up.
Right. Because you shouldn't say, okay, say like you're doing it like in your team drills. Say you got 4 team drills or 3 of them and you get 4 reps. I want 16 reps. I want 20. I want to keep getting better, but then also I want to separate myself. So, but look, time is now. Time moves and doesn't wait for anyone, but the opportunity is there, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And it's I think it's a good thing. I don't think it should ever be looked down upon when you have a competitive, nature. And the peer pressure is there. There is no days off here, man. There's got to be restless and sleepless days.
Well, just win the rep,
But-
for the next month.
Right, but DP, it's not. You know how you win those reps? Like you can't walk around on campus on your off day and think like, all right, I'm gonna,
I'm gonna chill.
I'm gonna just go to this class. I'm gonna be done with class at 9:30. Okay, nah, I'm not gonna go get my lunch. Should I get an extra lift in? Nah, you know what, my wrist is a little sore, or I lifted yesterday. I don't want to watch any tape, and I'm gonna go sit at home and watch a couple Netflix. Because you want to know why? Rico and DP are getting an extra lift in, getting more
Getting flexy
and getting more
Hit them
film
arms,
time in.
Rico. Hit him.
And then so while when you're seeing these plays that you had yesterday, or in this case yesterday, when they come to doing on Wednesday, you're playing a step faster, you're separating yourself, or if I'm the starter, you're gaining on me. And then once you get even, you're actually getting left.
I would love to know whether they reshuffle the depth chart every day, every practice. Like that would be.
Probably depends on who does well.
Yeah, that would be.
I mean, you
do
can,
that,
right? Oh, would I? Oh, absolutely.
within reason, right? You wouldn't just do it. I mean,
for football, it's a little more difficult because there's such a volume.
yeah.
But for baseball and basketball, absolutely.
were there certain guys you would keep together, or was
No.
it just?
No, because I didn't want to anchor you to Bach, right?
But if it was like two people who I know, you go in with an open mind and everything. You don't, obviously you
I'd
don't
like
have
to
favorites.
keep
But if
you and
it's
Nick
somebody
together,
that
but
you,
if I don't have to,
like if it's somebody you're like, this person works really well, like is fantastic. This person is fantastic. They work really well together. I want them to.
Is he one
kind
of the best five that works well together? With?
Yeah.
That's what I need to
Yeah,
know. That's what I need to know.
In some cases, you want to keep them together. But in this case, when everybody's competing for spots and reps,
yeah,
you can do it because you're actually trying to find the combination that you're talking about.
Mhm.
There's no known combinations that have shown on Saturday, or say like in the offensive line that the combination hasn't shown you
Mhm.
to be effective over 12 games, right? So you can't say, okay, we're just going to do this repeat. Now, what you can do is these guys can get better just by the difference of a presence in a room, but you also got to give other guys other chances. I mean, there's young guys that they got that are ready to go. Where do you think Teddy came from?
We're going to see. We are going to see. Before the break, we got a couple of segments we got to put together. We'll talk hoops, Husker hoops. We'll talk about that next here on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's a lot that goes into buying a home. Security First Bank can help lighten the load. Whether you're looking for more space or a new place, we make the process easier with friendly, experienced mortgage lenders. And whether you're building new or remodeling the old, we have flexible financing too. Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association on this station.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs. High school sports on 93.7 The Ticket are brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and Lincoln is excited to welcome big events to our community. Find out what's happening in Lincoln by visiting lincoln.org.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Shaping up to be a beautiful end to the month of February. We'll top out near 67. Cloud cover this morning will give way to plenty of sunshine this afternoon, and we will be looking at northwest winds around 10 to 15. Tonight, mainly clear, low of 32. Even warmer tomorrow for the start of March with a high of 74. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Back to Old School with DP and J.
Rico.
Yes.
Band.
Nothing.
Song title?
Not going to look at it. Can't tell you.
The Brothers Johnson, Lewis and George. Strawberry Letter 23.
Okay. I've heard of the Brothers Johnson.
Yes. Second greatest bass player ever, behind Larry Graham.
Okay.
Flea is third, maybe. Bootsy variates. Depends on my day.
Depends on how you're feeling.
Well, Bootsy Collins was Parliament Funkadelic. He was a bass player, but then he went solo. He was such a badass bass player. He went solo and created his own character.
Wow.
See, so if you want to spend some time, go find Bootsilla. My name is Bootsilla. Go find the album.
Bootsilla?
Bootsilla.
Okay.
Go find it. It will make your day.
Okay.
Just
there you go.
Just here for you.
Okay.
Just here
for my homework for the day.
Bootsilla. Bootsy Collins and the Rubber Band.
Okay. I had to make sure you're saying Boots, not Bootzilla.
Bootsy.
I was like, that's Bootzilla? Bootsilla?
Bootsilla. Like Bootsy, but he was a monster. Bootsilla.
Okay.
There we go. I'm here for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good for the soul. So how are we supposed to process last night?
I think you process the men's game with the Iowa game. I mean, like I said, earlier, is that you can't take that into account, right? And it, like I said, it worked to Nebraska's advantage that you had to play that game on a Friday night, and then get up the next morning, and it didn't even really get to. Well, you got to process it, but you didn't get to kind of like get in your feelings about it for 2 or 3 days and kind of question anything. You kind of had to go through it real quick. Probably took a lot of way more positives out of it than negative, right? And obviously the most negative is obviously not winning the game. And then you say, okay, well, how do we lose this game? Well, the third or fourth option had the career night. We can live with that, right? Here we are at Penn State. We played a better team close. Now we're here. We got to continue doing what we're doing. And look, Nebraska shot really hot from 3, obviously 65%. Really, really consistent in the first and second half. 60% in the first half, 75% in the second. The field goal percentage was obviously right around 60%, and free throws were 84%. And I really look at the field goal percentage. The 3-point percentage is kind of hit or miss, just because if you're on and it's your night. But when you look at the field goal percentage, that lets you know that they were getting good, makeable shots consistently. And like I said, the scoring was spread around through 7 players. When you think of Kobe, CJ, 7 and 9 respectively, and everybody else is in double figures, and Bryce had a huge game of 25 points. When you look at it, Bryce was known as a really, really good free throw shooter. Went 6 for 6, which is great because there's a couple times this year where you kind of missed a couple that either you needed or you think you should make. 3 of 5 from threes, which is good. But then, when you look at his field goal percentage, 8 of 13. That's efficient. Look at Verge, 6 of 12. Efficient, right? Bryce didn't score 25 points with 25 shots. That lets you know he's efficient. He's really smooth, and he grabbed you 6 boards, right? So, and then you think Verge, you got to give him his kudos. He had 5 assists and 4 boards. That's huge. And he had a block, and he had the only block. Go ahead, Verge, with your bad self. Right.
Was that this team's best defensive effort?
It was. And then you think of you got to think you had D Walker had 10 and 7. He had 4 assists, right? Trey had 4 assists. He had 12 points and he had 5 boards. You got to think from just say your 3 guards, you had 15 boards from your 3. Just say if you got Trey, Verge, and Bryce, that's 15 rebounds. I mean, that's a pretty active top of your group there. And so
the five possessions that Derek Walker got offensive rebounds, 4 of those turned into easy buckets.
Yeah.
Like the things that have been done, people can talk about the entire season's worth, but over the past 3 games, this team has figured out how to do the things to other people that they've been
doing to
them.
Yeah.
Like getting the extra buckets, getting the extra opportunities,
Right.
forcing teams to defend for an additional minute and a half per half.
Right.
Like that's just like we miss how that thing plays out. It changes the opposition rotation. If I've got to keep my defenders out there who don't want to defend and who aren't defending well, if I get 5 extra possessions,
right.
My goodness gracious, that's been the difference for Nebraska,
Yeah.
even with their poor shooting over the course of the year.
That's the difference of allowing a team when you're down by 5, go on a 16-4 run. Now you're down 17, and pretty much the game's over. Versus being able to withstand it. Remember, we've talked about this obviously, but after every single game, every week for obviously months. The great thing about it is when you see the team rebounding, right? And everybody goes, "Oh, that man only had 2 rebounds." Well, you had your 1 and 2 guard had 10, and then Trey had 5. So that's kind of they took away from him. That doesn't mean he didn't do a good job of rebounding. He just obviously was hopefully boxing out, and they were able to get the long rebounds. But what hopefully Nebraska learned, right, these last 2 games, if we stop trying to run out and get to a spot 2 seconds earlier, we actually score more points.
Yeah, you don't have to cherry pick.
Yeah, they're trying to play AAU basketball, and this ain't AAU league, or we're trying to play AAU basketball.
Well, it's for them for shooters to get the spots instead of running to spots as you're getting the pass.
Right.
No, be locked and loaded.
Right.
That quickness has helped.
And they're fast enough again. Those 3 guys to get up and down the court and get to those same spots. And you saw it. And actually, you know what? To be honest with you, their defense set up their offense, and I think this is just me, right? I think it's a direct correlation to their field goal percentage.
Yeah.
And the reason why that is because it actually spaced the game better. You get what here's what I'm saying
here's what it did, because you have 3 ball handlers in it at any given time. And for them, whoever has the ball, once they advance, if Bryce is on one wing, Trey's on the other, and there is the actual scientific proof that they can make the 3, defenses are having to close out on them, and both of those dudes are going by them.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. And it's putting a big in under duress. Penn State's big was just like, he was getting frustrated. Like
he was like Shaq trying to guard.
He was everywhere.
Like,
he was trying to be everywhere.
All these dudes, but this is the thing we talked about, is that when you don't have a dominant 7-footer, what you have to do is make teams that play bigs against you punish. Just punish them by making them go from midline to close out 3. They don't like it. They don't like doing it in high repetition. Yep. And then when they get the ball, they're a little bit more fatigued and a little bit more heavy leg. Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like last night. That was what they were doing.
In short, when you talk about not running, how it affects, I think it affected our field goal percentage in a positive.
Uh-huh.
You talk about you made Penn State do things that they didn't want to, which then taxed them physically. Okay, they had a guy, Pickett, 5 of 11. Lundy, 4 of 11.
Shows up
Johnson,
in the legs,
4
baby.
10. Right
Shows
there.
up in the legs.
Right?
Shows
Make
up
them
in the
play
legs,
defense.
man.
Make them play defense. See what they're doing. See how much they like to lock in and play D in the second, third, fourth quarter, of the game.
Shows up in the legs.
There you go.
All right, we'll take a break here. We'll come back. We'll talk about the ladies because they finished the season as well. 22 wins. Lots to talk about as they head into Big Ten tournament play this week. This is Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Winter is upon us. Is your home prepared? If your furnace isn't keeping up or you've thought about replacing it, John Henry's has a new year, new unit special. When you purchase a select heating and cooling system from John Henry's, we will give you the furnace for free. There are also equipment and LES rebates up to an additional $850. This offer expires February 28th, so don't miss out. Find out more at jhlincoln.com or give John Henry's a call or text today.
435-5555. Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Shaping up to be a beautiful end to the month of February. We'll top out near 67. Cloud cover this morning will give way to plenty of sunshine this afternoon, and we will be looking at northwest winds around 10 to 15. Tonight, mainly clear, low of 32. Even warmer tomorrow for the start of March with a high of 74. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association on this station.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
March is Problem Gambling Awareness Month. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300 or go to choicestreatmentcenter.com.
High school sports on 93.7 The Ticket are brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and Lincoln is excited to welcome big events to our community. Find out what's happening in Lincoln by visiting lincoln.org.
Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. It's Big Ten tournament week for the women's basketball Huskers. They go into this thing 22-7. It cannot be overstated enough. This team was 16-1 at home. 16-1 at home. Now, when you start looking for tournament play, This team was 5-6 away from PBA.
Right.
So we have questions. I love the 11-7 finish within the conference.
Oh yeah.
Right. They got done. What? Look, they checked a lot of boxes. I would have. The only box that wasn't checked for me was the away box, like be above 500. But Jay, what'd you see yesterday?
Look, I mean, it was a good game. I mean, Northwestern's no joke. So I mean, it's not like you just got a layup. You didn't get a homecoming game. So you had to go out there and earn it. And like I said, sometimes these games are hard because you see the finish line. You start to envision what the Big Ten tournament is going to be like. You start to envision what the big tournament is going to be like. But you got an opponent in front of you. So, they went out there and handled their business. It's like every time you push play on this type of movie with them, you know what you're getting. And, it's a different, person each time. I think, look, you can't understate what Alexis Markowski is doing in the Big Ten and what she potentially will do in the NCAA tournament, right? And I think not only got to give the coaching staff kudos to kind of bring her along at a slower pace, but then not hold her back as she start to progress. But even before that, I think her dad runs the Lasers, and they really get these young ladies really prepared, and they play in some big tournaments. And obviously you saw her last year at Pius, where she was an unstoppable force. I think the one thing I really liked out of this game was Jazz Shelley's shooting.
Man, that was big,
right? And one is because she had been scoring, but she was almost she was a little bit more, had more volume, right? Prior. So she was 6 of 11 from the field, 3 of 6 from threes, made both the free throws. I liked, and still dropped 5 dimes, and so I really like that. And then conversely, Sam Hybie didn't shoot as much, but she had 7 assists, right? So you saw kind of like a yin and yang right there, and I liked it. Obviously I would like the turnovers to be a little bit lower. 18 is a lot for this team considering the ball handlers we have, but again, Northwestern is on scholarship too. They're a proud program. I think they did a really good job on Veronica Burton, who could really hurt you. He kept her 3 of 14. She really only made all her points. She made half her points at the free throw line. Okay, so that's good. And they did a real good job of defending the 3 against Northwestern. And conversely, we only shot 18 threes and made 50%. So look, the consistent scoring that Nebraska had, a big third quarter to kind of, put the nail in the coffin. The first quarter was close. Going into halftime was close. Big third quarter. But then, then you turn around and kept it, pretty even, Steven, losing the fourth quarter by 3. So it's an onward or upward. It came out pretty healthy. Got a lot more people some playing time. But now as we go, the level of intensity needs to step up because you're going to get everybody's best shot in the Big Ten tournament. And, I think these times where they're turbulent and, coming down the stretch and able to survive and kind of have that team concept and continue to concentrate and win, hopefully serves them well as they get into sticky situations, as they get along in the Big Ten tournament, and they get a bye, which is huge.
Yeah,
rest,
recovery,
but
scouting.
evaluate, and I was just about to say that, and scouting, because you not only get to scout the 2 teams that are going to play you, then you can kind of project potentially when you win who you're like, again, getting 2 or 3 days ahead is huge at this point in time going into the tournament, because as you go in the tournament, even though you're playing in the Big Ten, you might be playing a potentially the same type of team or style in the NCAA tournament. So it's always, win by one or more. That's it. That's all that matters. Style points don't mean nothing right now.
Well, you get a great matchup against the winner of Wisconsin and or Illinois, teams that you're familiar with, that you had success against.
Yep.
Figured out how to win them, beat both of those. And then if you advance, you will face a Michigan team that you've already defeated. And I think everybody takes a deep breath and exhales that Maryland is not on that side of the bracket, that that it is Michigan and Iowa rather than Maryland and Ohio State. But it should be a busy weekend as far as that's concerned. We'll toward the break. We'll come back. Rico's question of the day. We'll see what Rico's got in store for us when we come back and close out Old School.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Mike Shaver here for Trek CBD. There's a lot of CBD shops opening up in Lincoln, but Trek CBD focuses on quality above all else. Their products are from local CBD company Nico Farms and are third-party laboratory tested. They have products that can help with stress, anxiety, pain, relief, and more, and have a wide selection of Delta 8, including Serene 8. Trek CBD is locally owned and operated. Go visit Scott or Shannon at their 84th and Highway 2 location, or go online to Trek CBD with free delivery. Trek CBD. CBD done right.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
High school sports on 93.7 The Ticket are brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and Lincoln is excited to welcome big events to our community. Find out what's happening in Lincoln by visiting lincoln.org.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Shaping up to be a beautiful end to the month of February. We'll top out near 67. Cloud cover this morning will give way to plenty of sunshine this afternoon. And we will be looking at northwest winds around 10 to 15. Tonight, mainly clear, low 32. Even warmer tomorrow for the start of March with a high of 74. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th. Play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is double. Don't miss it. Cash Blast playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
Attention anyone standing near a mud puddle. Trucks and Bucks is back, so take cover. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch game is roaring down the road again. And this year, we're giving away 8 blue 2022 Ford F-150 XLT Super Crew Flex Fuel trucks. So buy a $2 Trucks and Bucks ticket today. You could win a new Ford F-150 and make a real splash in your neighborhood. Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment of Old School will roll over into one-on-one. Lots to talk about there. Spring game, men's hoops, ladies hoops, bowling, softball, baseball. Talk about the Huskers trip down to Texas and TCU, the answers they got, and the questions that still remain. All that in play. Jay Foreman, I'll ask you this because I think you have a pretty good pulse on this thing. What player are you looking to find out the most about at spring camp?
Who? Well, I mean, of course, Casey or Purdy or or whoever else, or Logan, whoever is gonna, that's gonna be a big deal in this whole situation. Consistency and be able to step up and play well and play winning football, right? It'd be interesting to see how I'm really interested to see. Yeah, I know you're not going to see much, but see maybe if you see subtle differences in the blocking schemes, but then also in the concepts on offense. Now, again, you won't see much because of teams being able to scout and get ahead of you, but just see you'll be able to see some differences, whether it's identity, how they block. You can block the same play differently, and it will look different, right? It'll tell you about identity. Is there more double teams and trying to push guys and get them to the second level and then rub off to the second level, or are you doing more individual isolation blocks? So, that I think on offense, maybe probably Casey. There's tons. Who's going to be two guys that step up outside that running back room, regardless of who's injured right now. A big deal to me is who's going to step up and take JoJo Doman's spot, number one, right? Because that was such a huge part in Nebraska's defense being consistent as far as being able to cover guys and all that. But then who on the back end, the safety spots, going to step in for the two guys that have played a lot of good football here and leadership as well. I mean, that's going to be huge. That kind of like joker spot or whatever they want to call it, dime kind of outside linebacker that can, cover against, tight ends and a little bit slower slots. And then who's going to be playing the safeties, because those safeties are obviously going to be able to have a big influence in the run game and not give up it or help, not give up as many explosive plays in the pass game.
It's going to be a fun 30 days. Spring game's not that far away. So,
yeah.
You take steps, 18 different practice days.
Practices are huge. I mean, the spring game is a production now.
Mm-hmm.
Practices are huge. And then wherever you're at after spring, it's not over, because this is just it's a big part, but it's a small part, because if you relax during the off season, say after spring, you can get passed by.
And some new folks are coming. Some new
like
folks
always.
will be here.
Yeah, like always. Yeah.
So there's that. Again, big day. Football press conference, wrestling press conferences, all taken care of. Mark Manning and group will be talking around 11. Big Ten wrestling at PBA this week. So
Big Ten championships this weekend.
That's a big deal. Scott Frost will speak at 12:30. There'll be players from 11:30 to 12:30. Offensive assistants at 1, defensive and special team assistants at 1:30. We'll cover it all. Don't go anywhere. One-on-one up next here on The Ticket.